Five, and we're live now. So how's everybody going? I guess we're going to talk about Hunter Avalon and AJW, aka Sean Fitzgerald. Why is Hunter dodging this debate? Plus, at the end, we'll speak about what Kellyann Conway allegedly leaked a photo of Claudia. I don't know if I can see the whole thing. Don't want to get demonetized. Don't want to get censored. Have been censored for even softer stuff than that. It's the YouTube. But yeah. Yeah. First of all, how's everybody doing? I guess Connor says, and through on I'm not sure how to say your name. How you
Tarun, I think. Is that correct, Tarun?
I think he's on mute. I think he's taking on mute him or
Yeah. Yeah. What's up, guys? One second.
yeah.
Yeah, I think he's muted for now.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
Wait.
How do you pronounce your name?
hear
Just
me
was wondering.
I can't hear either of you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I can.
I can hear you now. Yeah. So I guess you guys introduce yourself. Who are you guys?
Oh, wait, I don't think Tarun can hear us.
Can you hear us, Tharim?
No, Tarun can't.
Ah, fudge. Okay, I can't hear you guys. Wait, let me try and put it. Okay. I think it's.
I can hear you now, Tharim.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So I guess you guys can introduce yourself now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You could hear you this whole
Okay, I
time.
can't hear you. Alright. I will rejoin.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna rejoin.
Okay.
So I'll just introduce myself for now. My name is Connor. That's not my real name, but just for now, I'll just use that name. And yeah, look, Mikhail's here. What's up?
Yeah. What's up, Mikhail?
Hey everyone,
Yeah.
Hi. How are you?
Good.
I'm doing
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
How are you been, Connor?
Good.
Yeah. So I guess we're going to speak about. I guess if you guys haven't heard, Shane Fitzgerald has made a ton of videos on Hunter Avalon, and apparently he's asking Hunter to debate. Hunter has originally ignored him, has not mentioned his name, which could have actually been the better thing, to be honest, because the next thing he did was kind of made him look bad. He kind of so basically he kind of then explained why he's not debating Shane, because apparently Shane didn't agree with a study he said, because at first Shane accused Hunter of not reading the full story, and then Shane saw the thing and apparently said that the story is biased. So that's what Carissa told me last stream, which when I was on with her, I guess you guys could see it on my channel. But that's the reason. So how do you guys feel about the situation?
Just a quick side note: Theron is backstage. Just so you guys
Tarun.
Okay, fine. Yeah, okay. That's there. Yeah. So how do you guys feel about the situation?
Hello?
Hi.
Hey, Theron, can you hear me?
Okay, let's see. Can you?
Because I can.
I'll be back in some time. Wait, can you hear me?
Oh boy.
Okay, I can't hear you, so this might be sounding weird. Can you guys hear?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay, then it must just be me then.
Yeah. Okay, I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay. You can't hear me, Theron? Can you hear me or no?
I can hear everyone.
Okay. So I guess it's just you, Theron. I guess it's just
I
you.
can't. Yeah, I can't hit toasted.
Such is the nature of streams.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Karan? Can you hear me?
I
Can you hear
can't hear you, Connor, either.
I can hear you, Connor.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay,
By the way,
fine.
there are a lot of like surround noise in my house. Can you hear a lot of like background noise?
No, no. You know,
If anything, you're
I
probably
can't. I
picking up
don't hear
more
it.
from me than anything.
Yeah, I don't really hear
I'm
anything.
literally in my garage right now.
Huh. Okay.
What's wrong? Can you speak now? Or?
Hello, can you hear me now?
Oh my!
Maybe you should try and reconnect.
Unbelievable! I know what I just did. I'm a moron. I'm a moron. I'm a moron.
Is your mic muted or something? Or have you muted?
Okay, I can hear you all now. Do you know
Okay.
what I just did?
What?
Okay, for some reason, oh yeah, I basically I was like on Streamlabs, StreamYard like earlier, like an hour, but I had something else and I needed to mute it, so I basically muted the site and I forgot that I actually muted that site.
No. Okay.
Bruh.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is like 6 minutes of the stream, bro.
Yeah. It's okay. I'll try to edit it out. I don't know if I'll
fine.
edit it out,
Fine.
but yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's okay. Anyway, so yeah. So what's your view on what's happening with the Sean and Hunter situation?
So can I speak first if possible? Because like I talked with them. I was kind of the one who started this thing.
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
go
Sure.
So what I believe happened was I have a friend on Twitter who who has personal friends with I think Carissa and Hunter Avalon. So I asked him if he could like talk to them, and Carissa initially said, "Tell Sean that he doesn't know it." So then I messaged Sean. Sean said he's probably dodging because Sean has personally responded to him, and that is in fact true. And then after some time, I think it became known that the main reason for a debate is because there was a one study about I think trans suicide or something along those lines, and Sean apparently misrepresented a statistic. And so their argument is that Sean is like very slammy when it comes to like representing statistics, and so it's not like fruitful to debate him. That's I think generally their argument. I hope I'm like being correct. If I'm being
This is what if you saw my last stream, maybe I could even this is what Carissa said. This is why she doesn't want to debate Hunter. This is why they don't want to debate sorry, mix up my words. That's why they don't want to debate Sean, which I believe it's a dumb bad reason because out of just one study I wish you would just be honest and either say I don't have the time to debate, I just don't want to debate, or I'm not don't have enough data to debate, I'm not ready to debate, because what it seems from me at least, it seems like Hunter is just scared to debate Sean because he's a good debater, like what I mean, like he wasn't afraid to debate that
Beardson, yeah. But their justification was that Beardson was like honest, like how like he was like dishonest. He was honest, like he was completely slammy and he hated Hunter and he was like a personal grudge.
Right,
but like Sean is not that.
I guess so. But from what it looks like, he looks like he's taking those easy people to go after, to debate, but not somebody like a Sean who was a terrific debater. Let's be honest. He debated Vash and he totally destroyed Vash so badly that Vash threatened to report his channel. You know what I mean? So I mean, like,
wait, really? Vash threatened to report his channel?
Yeah, Vash threatened to report his channel after, because I'm not sure if you saw the debate. The debate was a disaster for Vash, because usually Vash is good at debating. Say what I want about him, but he has a good debating for some. He could debate pretty good, but the debate against Sean just totally destroyed him. Because he was calm. He's a great debater, and he realized he made a fool out of himself. I mean, like, it was a whole meme. Like the whole thing he said. Is it a choice if I was in an island and had to either?
Oh yeah, that was a horrible analogy.
Yeah, that was like.
I mean, that analogy is more analogous to socialism than it is to capitalism, because there's one person who has control of all the resources.
Yeah.
It's not actually private ownership, because I mean it technically is, but like there's only two people involved. And the main problem with his analogy was that he assumed that you cannot grow your own coconuts. right? Because the whole thing is like you have coconuts, right? And then if somebody has coconuts, all the coconuts, and you're subjected to their will. And also he gave an argument that you have to suck their dick. Apparently, like the guy bribes him that you have to suck his dick, and then you get the coconut. While in a capitalist society, you would be helping him grow more coconuts, and then you would get coconuts as an exchange for helping him grow more coconuts.
Yeah, I mean, like, and to be honest, you just don't have to suck his dick. I mean, like, that could be his hard bargain. He says, "No, I'm not sucking your dick. I'll maybe do some work for you." You know what I'm saying? That's because
Yeah,
like at the end of the day, he could
it's not
say,
an analogy.
you know,
I debated someone on Twitter over this as well. It's a really mindless debate. It's not even a good analogy. And when Sean was like calling him out, I was like, yeah, well, analogies aren't supposed to be like perfect. Something along those lines, I think he said.
yeah. But this is what this debate is reminding me of, because right now, it sort of has been like the bread tubers have been the like debate me bros right now,
Yeah.
and now all of a sudden he's afraid to debate Sean. It sort of reminds me of what's
I
happening
don't
with
think he's
Dave
a bread
Rubin.
tuber. I think he's just a I don't think he's a bread tuber.
Yeah, I mean, well,
Well,
I know.
well,
I mean,
Vosh is definitely a bread tuber.
Oh
Like
yeah,
he's
Wash is like bread tube king or something. He's among the king of the
oh,
bread tuber.
yeah, but like Hunter Avalon, like
Can I speak up here real fast?
sure.
sure.
Yeah,
Okay. Now, I'm not I'm not fully familiar with Bosch and his debating style. I understand that Sean, basically wrecked him. As Connor said, even under the point where, Vosh threatened to report Sean's channel, just I guess out of embarrassment. I'm not really sure. But the thing of it is that okay, let's think about this for a second. What caused, and I'm sure everyone here is familiar with, what really caused, Hunter's huge. I'm not even sure if I want to say it's an honest change in perspective, but just his huge shift in persona and the way he presents himself, was the fact that he showed up, by all accounts from the debate that I saw with him and Vosh, he showed up horribly ill prepared, got his ass handed to him, and basically just I'm not sure if Hunter is doing his new shtick, which is just disgusting to me. He's really cucked out on his own values from days past. I'm not sure if he's doing this to save face or if it's just because he's embarrassed, or both. I don't really know.
I don't know
But-
if Hunter. I would-
if he knows that Sean wrecked Vosh and he knows that Vosh wrecked him, then on the one hand, yeah, he's kind of being a cowardly little puss to not even take up the offer, or at the very least be honest and to say no, I don't have time, or I just flat don't want to. He's kind of being a little puss there. But at the same time, I can understand, well, this dude wrecked me and this dude wrecked the dude who wrecked me. Why would I want to take on the dude who wrecked the dude who wrecked me?
But I would say that I would actually disagree. I think that Hunter's change, I don't think his change is necessarily like it's not a genuine change for a thing, because like Hunter is in fact losing lots of subs and he's lost a lot of like support with that. So I think if he's continuing with this shtick, like so-called shtick, right? I feel that's not my issue with him. I don't care that he's like left to left or whatever. Like I'm not a right winger, but like my main issue is that I think I don't agree with like a lot of his takes, and I think like there are some instances where he's just been like flat out wrong. Like an example would be like he made a video about George Floyd, 5 myths about Floyd debunked or something, where he claimed Floyd had 11 nanograms. He used a New York Times article, weird enough, and he claimed that George Floyd had 11.
Who's that? Okay.
Was that an ice cream truck?
Sound like a phone call.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So I
sorry,
was saying
that was a phone call. Sorry, that was a phone call.
That's
Okay,
fine.
no worries.
So I was going to say that Hunter Avalon, I believe, claimed from a New York Times article that George Floyd had 11 nanograms of fentanyl in his blood, which is a minuscule amount, while the autopsy indicated an 11 nanogram per milliliter, which is
Yeah, I
off
was
by a
about to
factor
say
of
it was
like
actually much higher than that.
yeah, it's just like off by a factor of like 5,000, right? And that's important because 11 nanograms per milliliter is a potentially fatal dose of fentanyl, and he just like dismisses that just like a low amount of drugs. And also considering that Floyd had pre-existing conditions, it makes it even worse. Now that doesn't mean that Floyd didn't die because of the knee on the neck, but like he had a lot of fentanyl in his system.
Yeah, and this is the thing I don't get about Hunter is this is how he is right now.
Real quick.
Sorry.
Real quick. I just wanted to say, yeah, I agree with you, Connor. I find this shift in persona on Hunter's part to be, at the very least questionable, if not just flat out disingenuous. I really do.
I mean, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I don't know if he's doing it to like sell out or some kind, but maybe it is a genuine change. I think it's probably genuine. I have no concern with him itself changing in and of itself. In fact, I was quite supportive of his transition. It's just there are some aspects of his like new content which I don't agree with. That's what I think.
Well,
very fair point.
Well, this is my thing about Hunter. This is why I think I don't want to, sound mean, sound disgusting. Chris was on my stream a couple, weeks ago, and she was very nice to me. I don't really want to insult Hunter this way, but I just think he's genuine. He's just, I don't want to say this. He's just kind of stupid. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's, huh?
I mean, I wouldn't say stupid. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what it is.
Yeah.
I think there are some places where he is just. I don't think he's 100% informed in all aspects. Like you could see that Tim Pooley is more in tune with like social thing. I think he just makes a lot of mistakes in his stuff. I won't say he's like overall an unintelligent person because he has made some good videos in the past. I've seen his stuff. Like he has some good stuff in his channel before.
Yeah, I mean, for sure it's better than my channel. But I mean, like, this is the thing. This is the problem, I guess. I don't like to make videos that much anymore on my YouTube because I like to make my arguments bulletproof. I don't want to, feed people that something I don't believe in, unless I'm 100% sure, and something that I don't think he does. And right now he's sort of like, in a way, acting obnoxious about his change. He's like calling himself a free thinker, like all these stuff. And the thing that bothers me the most about Hunter Avalon is that he claims to care a lot about statistics, but the thing is, it's only when the statistics go his way. When they don't go his way, like the George Floyd case where the police report said he died of fentanyl.
Exactly.
Fentanyl. He said like, "Oh, this is a complete debunction. This is a complete. This is such a biased report." You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't go both ways. Like, so I could say this. Sorry.
Wait, no, never mind. You can continue.
I could say this about any report, like a report from CNN or New York Times. Like say, "Oh, those are uber liberal, very liberal reporting stuff. Why should I trust this?" This is the same thing he's doing. If you don't trust the police report on this thing, then why should you trust the CNN report? You know what I'm saying?
I think what his argument was in that scenario is that the person who conducted the autopsy wasn't some sort of like professional or some sort, or wasn't like 100% qualified to do so. I think I don't exactly remember, but it was something along those lines.
Yeah, and to be honest, you can make that with any study from CNN.
I think the second autopsy was conducted by someone who was trying to give. It was a civil autopsy, right? So it was like it was going to be for the benefit of Floyd's family.
Yeah,
it was like autopsy, I believe.
And that funny thing about that one, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that even did show that what it basically says that it did show that he had fentanyl in his system and he died, but we say he didn't die of fentanyl because of the video. It didn't really prove anything against the first autopsy.
But I think the first autopsy also said that in a normal situation this could have been considered an overdose death. But then after he looked at the video, it said that it could have also been. It was I believe heart complication followed by a knee, which caused by the knee on the neck. The knee on the neck led to a certain heart complications or something like that.
And I don't want to be this person, but the thing about the knee on the neck thing is like we don't know how hard the knee on the neck was. I mean, like pressure on the neck matters, and we don't know if it was full pressure or not. I don't want to sound like a complete partisan hack, but do you know what I'm saying?
I think the first autopsy said that they didn't find any significant pressure on the neck. I believe, if I'm not wrong. I can open up the autopsy if you want, but like. I believe the person who did the second autopsy claimed that there was no pressure shown on the neck because the pressure was released after the death. I think that's what he said. Let me just open up the.
Yeah. I was gonna say, why not open up the actual autopsy reports? Let's actually look into this. Because as you both kind of pointed at, obviously the fentanyl was a contributing factor, but was that the only factor? That's a significant question.
Right.
And from my own personal standpoint, you know, what was it, like 8 minutes and some change, of knee to the neck? What was that cop thinking? Just as just there. But still, there are questions there that need to be answered. So maybe the actual data collected from the autopsies could help reveal a little bit more. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And the thing is, it could be both sides could be true on some point. It could be that he did die of an overdose, but the cop did a bad thing. I think like a similar case would be the Ahmed Arbery case, which obviously those people should not have chased Arbery. Like you don't chase somebody for going into like that's not a reason you should have called the police, or it's not a reason to chase somebody with guns. By the end of the day, Ahmed Arbery also did something wrong by going inside a house, which people say it was a building construction place, but it looked like a house. See the footage; it looked like a house. And also, there are some evidence that Ahmed Arbery took the gun and did hit them with the gun. So that's that. But I think there are both sides to the same. Both sides were wrong in this case. Not everything is black and white, sort of to say.
Yeah, well put. Not everything is just black or white. It doesn't work that way. So let's take a look at the evidence.
Yeah, let's see what the autopsy. Does anybody have the autopsy on hand?
I'm gonna find it.
No.
Because I'm a horrible reader. I don't know.
Really? 20-page autopsy detailing the death. Okay, wait. Let me see if this. All I'm getting is articles about, not the actual autopsy.
Maybe we'll have a link to it or something.
So the cause of death is listed as cardiopulmonary arrest complicating law enforcement subdual, restraint, and neck compression.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
But they did deem it as a homicide, though.
Mm-hmm.
Floyd had contracted novel coronavirus.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are debates about whether Floyd was symptomatic or asymptomatic. Occurred nearly 2 months earlier. So, since PCR positivity can persist for weeks after the onset, the autopsy most likely reflects asymptomatic persistent PCR positivity from previous infection.
Wait, apparently there were like two autopsy reports, and then 538 had some articles saying the two autopsies aren't as different as they seem.
Oh, I haven't read that. I've seen the headline, but
okay, so
blunt force injuries, continuous blunt force to the forehead. I'm only reading an article, but I've read the autopsy before, so it's correct. So the fentanyl is 11 nanograms per milliliter. Right, that's undisputed. He had 11 nanograms per milliliter of fentanyl, which is a potentially fatal dose.
Yeah.
A urine drug, fentanyl metabolite. Read the complete report below. Okay. Should I send you the link?
Sure. You can.
Well, you can also share your screen as well if you want.
Yeah, you can share the screen.
Let me try downloading it. Toasted, you want to go through this? Because I think you need to sign in. I think you can do it better because my thing will probably lag if I do it.
Okay, sure. Do you have the link?
Yeah, I put it.
Yep.
In the private. Oh, it's in the private chat. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, let me read the whole thing right now. I'm not the best reader, but I'll try my best.
Can you share the screen?
Oh, sure. I could do that. A second. I hope I don't have to pay for an ad though. Share screen, yes. Okay, George Floyd autopsy. Okay. Oh, come on. I have to. Okay. Do you have to download this? Okay, fine. This is the whole thing. 46-year-old man who became unresponsive while being restrained by law enforcement officials. He received emergency medical care in the field of subsequently in the Hennepin Healthcare HHAC Emergency Department, but cannot be resurrected. 1. Blunt force injuries. Okay, 1 second. 1B. Continuous blunt force injuries of the forehead, face, and upper lip. Mucosal injuries of the lips. Continuous blunt force injuries of the shoulders, hands, elbows, and legs. Pattern contusions in some areas abroad of the wrist. Consistence with restraints. Restraints, handcuffs.
Given, I think given what the video shows, these injuries could be when from the time that the officers was trying to restrain Floyd. There was like Floyd was like fidgeting a lot, and the camera was moving. So maybe like that could have. I'm not exactly.
Yeah, all those injuries, I don't really think they're the.
To be fair, he wasn't exactly complying with the police as they.
Yeah, he was.
To,
he wasn't complying.
And also like he like was screaming for like his mother who like died like years before, which suggests that like his mind wasn't like all there, suggesting maybe a significant amount of like.
Speaking of Hunter claimed that Floyd didn't resist arrest, I think, in one of his
Well, you have to know how the liberals believe in resisting arrest. Like, there's a video of like a man like saying, like the police saying, "Get off the car, get off the car." And the man's like, "I'm not resisting arrest. I'm not resisting arrest. Get your hands off me." You know what I'm saying? I don't think they know what resisting arrest even means. It means not going along with the. I don't think liberals get it in a way. Okay, so the next part is.
I'm gonna be honest here. I kind of like don't get it that much exactly. So like, generally if they you refuse arrest, like I generally like think you shouldn't be that. I don't know, like basically. So like,
I mean, you can argue whether the knee on the neck was like good, like police practicing or not, but I think at the time Floyd was like resisting arrest and shaking around. I don't think the police were like they were not acting like strained. They're not acting like out of bad. I think they according to that situation, like before the knee on the neck, we can argue whether the knee on the neck was good or not. I personally think it was very neglectful because they probably knew that like it's not a good policy to have, or it's not even like good to use it because you don't know who you're dealing with, right? Okay. But like at the time, like they seemed like they were dickhead. They even said that when he said he couldn't breathe in his car, they said they were going to open the windows for him. They didn't use excessive force. I don't think they even used. I'm pretty sure they didn't use a taser either, but I may be incorrect. I don't remember. They didn't use much. Like they didn't. They were resisting arrest, but they were handling it quite well.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that Hunter gets upset about, like, he says like he pointed a gun at George Floyd, which was standard police protocol. You should, if you ever deal with the police, like you get out of the car, they get very, very cautious in this situation. And let's say even if he did the wrong thing by putting the gun at him, well, okay, then.
I mean, he couldn't see his hands. He was reaching around the car, so his natural response would be he pointed his gun at him, and once he could see Floyd's hand when he was on his head, he immediately put the gun in the holster. Like, why is that even important? I don't understand why that's even important.
Exactly, and let's say even if you did something wrong with pointing out the gun, just like the Kyle Rittenhouse case.
Connor.
Oh, don't get me started on the Rittenhouse case.
Yeah, but like the main thing is people say cross state line and buy a gun illegally. Okay, fine. So charge him with a possession of firearms. It doesn't mean that he's responsible for murder. You know what I'm saying? Like
this. Yeah, it's a minor misdemeanor as well.
Class A misdemeanor, yes.
Yeah.
Also, there's a Wisconsin statute which says if you I'm not quoting verbatim, but like there's a Wisconsin statute. I'm not exactly sure what. I think it's probably 939.48 subsection 2 or something along those lines. I don't actually know the thing. It says something along the lines of if you commit an unlawful act, right, which can cause a confrontation or can start a confrontation. If you retreat in good faith and you can actually claim self-defense, but you must exhaust all options, which Kyle Rittenhouse clearly did. So this is not a partisan issue. I don't know why it's become a partisan issue.
I absolutely agree.
It's basically like from Sean's video, like where he basically pointed that out. So that's basically accurate.
Yeah, and the thing about it gets me disgusted is he's not even he's a teenager and people are attacking him, an innocent teenager that people are ruining his life. Like, even if he's free, he's not going to be able to get a job. He's not going to even be able to live life normally. He's going to probably, wherever he goes, he's going to have to be worried about getting punched in the face, stuff like that. So he's like,
I mean, some of the things that I've heard about Kyle has been nothing more than a smear job. Like it's okay to disagree on certain issues, but like he's been called domestic terrorist, white nationalist, and stuff like that.
Oh my days,
Yeah.
yeah.
He shot
Funny-
three white
God,
dudes.
Yeah,
No,
but
white
people-
nationalists. He shot three white guys.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that's conservative or does something they disagree with, they call white nationalists these days.
Yeah.
I think SPLC has Ben Carson as a white nationalist. So
It's just like calling somebody a Nazi these days because they disagree with you. It's they've literally denigrated and devalued the term of Nazi, or any derivative thereof, to a meaningless buzzword. It's fucking sick.
yeah, I mean, I don't think they even know what a Nazi means. To be honest, what a Nazi means.
Nazi is
I'm-
anyone. A Nazi is anyone who disagrees with me.
Yeah, because a Nazi is, I think in general, is like a German supremacist. I mean, that's why I think it actually.
It's an Aryan supremacist. Basically.
Somewhat,
It's a far right populist Aryan supremacist group.
Yeah.
somewhat
because-
Nordic.
Yeah.
It's weird, but yeah,
Yeah.
mostly German.
Yeah, what I don't get about why does it have socialist at the end? Because I mean, Hitler's policy, even though, like, I think Chris Avalon always says this, he's not socialist because they had private property rights, but those private property rights were not really private property rights. It was really run by the Germans. They would make armor and vehicles for them. So it wasn't in no way was it Milton Friedman laissez-faire capitalism whatsoever.
Yeah, it wasn't like
No,
most
not
like,
at all.
like populist right wingers are generally not.
quote
Okay, you
unquote
can speak.
capitalism. It was.
Yeah,
In
reference to-
anyone who labors under the delusion that any form of laissez-faire capitalism is somehow Nazi-esque. Okay, I got news for you. You need to look up fascistic corporatism, which, fun fact, is oddly enough the economic system that America currently operates under. When you actually look at it, it's actually really sick.
Also, usually people on like the populist right, or like they're usually not like laissez-faire capitalists. They're usually more populist in that sense.
Yeah.
In reference, basically Tucker Carlson and maybe like Josh Hawley, but yeah,
Yeah, they're more
those two.
populist. I wouldn't compare them to Nazis, but like they're like
I
the
mean,
people
yeah,
the populist sort of stuff. They're not exactly like advocates for like laissez-faire capitalism. Like even Nick Fuentes said he's sort of like in favor of a mixed economy.
Yeah,
And when
yeah.
he did the political compass test, which measured his economic access,
And he
got
was
slightly-
actually left wing. He was actually left wing. Funny
It
enough.
doesn't mean he's actually left wing, but like on
Yeah, it's
socialist
hilarious.
economic issues, he's
Yeah.
generally like this.
yeah. Actually,
It's not a laissez-faire capitalist in its.
Yeah,
yeah, I checked like one of the comments on that video, and basically one Catholic monarchist did that political compass test, and it basically said that he was a centrist, which basically means he was socially further right, but economically further
Yeah,
left.
Nick
so
got extremely Nick got like 7 or I think like 5 or 6 points authoritarian on that, and he was like he should have gotten more authoritarian.
Yeah,
Like
one thing
imagine getting authoritarian on the political compass test. That's damn crazy.
and one thing I noticed about the far right that they don't speak about stuff. They don't speak about is, and for obvious reasons, they don't speak about the economies too much because they realize that they blame the Jews for the economy being bad and stuff like that. So they can't be capitalist because then they will agree with the Jewish bank or stuff like that. And one other thing
don't even get me started on this crap.
Yeah, and another thing is that they don't agree with they never speak about abortion. Only Nick Fuentes, the only one that I really hear speaks about abortion is the Groper movement, but the rest of them they usually tend to. And I know we have a mixed view in this chat. I don't really want to get.
yeah.
I'm the only pro-choice person here. Okay.
Yeah, but
This is
so much
straight
about-
cat. What the hell do I know about anything? No.
no, yeah, but I mean, like, they don't speak too much about abortion because if you really think about it, you can't really be a white nationalist and be for abortion because the ones that are really, are mating a lot are the persons of color. That's the funny thing about Nick Fuentes is he speaks about how to make whites majority states, and he always talks about immigration policy, but that won't make
Does he advocate for a white ethno state? I'm not sure.
No, he's not a white ethno state. What he doesn't
Richard
argue.
Spencer.
No, that's Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer, by the way, is pro-choice. By the way, funny enough.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. Well,
Yeah, that's hilarious about Richard, by the way. I'm not gonna lie.
And also for like single payer healthcare. Funny that.
Yeah,
Okay,
but funny thing,
fine.
right? What was I gonna say? Hey, when this happens, I
He
forgot.
lost by the way. He also
About
lost
Nick
by-
Fuentes.
Yeah, Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, yeah, that was I gonna say. Like, it's like those are the people that are. I hate when this happens. Is like, yeah, that's what he speaks about. So I don't know. Do you assume that he's a troll or not a troll? I guess let me just put
Nick
you.
Fuentes.
Yes and no.
Yeah,
I think he's sort of like he's trying to be a reactionary. I don't think his
Yeah.
views are not genuine, but I think he's just trying to be a reactionary. Like a lot of his views are sort of like reactionary views. I think.
Okay.
The thing
In all honesty, if anything, I'd say he's somewhere between as Connor pointed out, just a genuine reactionary, and on the one hand, and on the other hand, if anything, I'm half inclined to think he's something of a grifter.
yeah, because you can find.
I mean, do
Sorry.
you follow me there?
Yeah, because there's videos of him saying Trump is racist. Trump, stop your racist ideology. It was a long time ago, back when Nick was.
Fuentes.
Yeah, no joke. You can find it. Find the evolution
Oh,
of
yes,
Nick Fuentes.
yes.
You'll see it.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But one thing
yeah,
about Nick Fuentes. Sorry.
Yeah, I personally don't think he's grifter, but like I'm gonna see Nick Fuentes from a different perspective. The idea that maybe like he's a neo-Nazi that's pretending to be more moderate. Now, for the people who have this view, and I'm not sure if I'm not sure about this, but like assuming this is true, like I've seen the views that he's willing to espouse, and these are some of the things he basically praised, like Franco of like Spain back, and also Mussolini, and
He
the
praised
he bas-
Mussolini.
he praised, he basically said what else, that
Funny
he
enough
doesn't
about
like,
Yeah,
he
One
doesn't
thing
that's
like,
a fair point.
yeah,
That's a very fair
he,
point.
yeah, he doesn't like interracial marriage. He
Yeah, of course he
wants
does.
government to like force like women like not to like work, and let's see what else. He basically said like he's splitting like this between like one American group and one anti-American group. He basically said like this group is mostly white, that's not usually Jewish. He said like although Jews can be there, they're most likely not there, and then the anti-American group, which is mostly Jewish, and like assuming these are the views that Nick Fuentes is willing to espouse. And
Nick Fuentes
like,
didn't want women to join the
these are
army.
Yeah,
assuming, yes.
This is my
Yeah,
problem.
yeah, but
He didn't
but
want
that
women to
does
join the
beg,
army either.
that does kind of beg one fundamental question. There is a difference between what a man will say in public and what he'll say in private. So my question is, and I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I'm just saying, it is worth wondering. It is worth investigating. Are these the things that he, on a personal level, actually believes and espouses in his personal life, or is this just a public figure? This
Right.
is just a public persona. I'm just curious.
One thing about Nick Fuentes about the Jewish thing is that I don't know if he knows everything about. There's different types of Jews. There's literally a ton of Jews. They have Reform Jews, Conservative Jews, Orthodox Jews, Sephardi Jews, Ashkenazi Jews, Hasidic Jews. You know what I'm talking about? Like, go meet Orthodox Jews. They're very, very conservative. Like they're like more they're very, very conservative.
You're talking about
Like Ben Shapiro's like an
at
Orthodox
least
Jew,
a
isn't he? And like
subgroup
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Jewish people that gave birth to Ben Shapiro. Need I say more?
Yeah. I don't like to explain my religion so much. Yeah, but that they're very, very conservative.
Actually, I actually don't know much about
There's
Fuentes. I actually don't know.
There's like there's differences. So like who exactly are we pinpointing here?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to be so I'm Jewish myself. I'm an Orthodox Jew. Don't want to get too much of my religion because but yeah, we're very conservative. I'm talking about. So I don't get what he's talking about because like one of his things he says Jews like to be separate. Yeah, the Orthodox Jews love being separate, but not the Reform Jews, not the conservative Jews, and they don't like each other. I'll tell you that much. You think the ADL is a big fan of Orthodox Jews? They don't like each other. They criticize the Orthodox rabbis all the time. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, I just want some research by him, and yeah, that's what I
By the way,
don't.
speaking of research, in a stream where he was debating with Sargon and he was debating against Hassan Piker and Destiny. He claimed that he doesn't like to use studies and stuff because it's like subject to like liberal bias or some shit like that. I don't exactly remember, but he said he doesn't like using studies.
Right, yeah.
So good luck to telling Nick to do research.
Yeah, I mean, this is my problem with Nick Fuentes. There's no consistency. That's why I'm a libertarian. That's why I became a libertarian, because there's consistency in the principle. When you go into the non-aggression principle, you can say anything you want about it, but there's consistency, and I like stuff with
Same.
consistency. You know what I'm saying?
Libertarian gang.
Oh, I absolutely
Libertarian gang.
agree.
I'm not a
That
libertarian.
is
Don't worry. I'm
always
not.
constant.
I'm not a libertarian at all. I mean, I am sorry, but I'm not. I disagree with them on quite a few stuff. I don't like to call I used to call myself a libertarian. I'm not a libertarian. What I'll call myself is maybe non-aggressionist. You know what I'm saying? That's why I probably.
Non-aggression. I like non-aggression.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with the
okay.
non-aggression
There's nothing
principle,
wrong with
basically.
Yeah, I'd consider myself a right libertarian, basically like still like being mostly libertarian, except like on issues where I can't be libertarian, like on abortion and
Yeah.
one issue that I
Yeah,
It's
but
a debate
abortion-
among libertarians whether to be
Yeah.
pro-life or pro-choice,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
government's job is to defend life, liberty, and happiness. So some people say it should defend the unborn's life, and some people say it should defend the woman's liberty and stuff like that. It's a whole
Yeah.
debate.
And based on my non-aggression, that's why I'm not a libertarian, because I agree. If I agree with the non-aggression principle covers the unborn, and that's why I cover it. And also, in terms of immigration, I believe states have the right to enforce their borders because states own that land, and you
Yeah.
know,
I mean, in America, aren't all the states like open borders? Like the borders within each state are supposed to be like open.
yeah, but not the Mexican South borders, the borders with the
No,
countries.
country borders are different. I'm talking about state borders. I believe
Yeah,
state
I
borders.
don't think they exist. No, I don't think they exist. State
It's just
borders.
Yeah, I
they-
prefer the lack of state borders. Yeah, I do like the states experiment where like if a state sucks, then you can move. But
yeah.
but the
Makes
problem
sense.
with that is that it's making Texas blue next to the Californians.
No, and I don't think Texas is gonna get blue. I
Uh,
mean,
yeah,
it's not
there
gonna
is a-
be.
maybe there. I'm a bit worried though.
Well, the thing I don't get about Nick Fuentes is he criticizes Orthodox Jews and Muslims, yet many of his stuff these people will agree with. I would know many of these stuff like anti-gay stuff. The Muslims agree with him. That's Sharia law. He seems like his views are Sharia law basically, but I don't think he
Yes,
just grifts
yes,
this
and
land.
that's an
Like,
excellent
a lot-
point,
like, a
because
lot of these, like-
effectively he's espousing the views of some of the
Yeah.
very people that he claims, at least publicly, to completely disagree with.
Wait,
it's
wait.
like, okay, are you a charlatan? Are you a grifter? Or are you just putting on a persona? I don't get this guy. I really don't. I can't really pinpoint what his shtick is.
Wait, has he
You
actually
know?
like claimed that he doesn't like Islam? That's what I want to know, because I don't remember like a clip of that.
Well, no, he hasn't. He hasn't necessarily. He doesn't speak too much about Muslims. That's not his. The alt-right doesn't really. To be honest, funny thing about the alt-right, they don't speak too much about the Muslims. His M&O is the gay people. Those are the people he hates the most. Those are the people gays, and I think then comes the Jews, then comes the blacks. The gays. I think he hates. No, you can't be gay if you're gay. He's or transgender. He's going to like automatically hate you no matter what. Jews, for the most part, he'll hate you, but he might put a soft spot at blacks. He hates them, but he'll accept them, the ones that agree with him. You know what I'm saying? He's that type of person.
I know
basically.
that Richard
Yeah,
Spencer
and that's horribly
Do you see-
disingenuous of him.
Yeah.
I know that,
he's
um,
horribly dishonest.
I know that Richard Spencer and some of his cohorts are okay with like. You're gonna laugh at this. What is it? The black. What is it? The black Muslims that the Nation of Islam, that they say they're okay with it. That at least in like a YouTuber called Mitch, he basically like found a video of them. I could like share the link. Well,
Yeah. Well, one funny thing about the black separatists, who Malcolm X's the Nation of Islam, Malcolm X, Elijah, whatever his name is, Muhammad.
Yep.
They were
Yep.
friends with George Lincoln Rockwell. Go look this up. They have speeches.
neo Nazis. Yep.
I mean, I'm not
Because-
surprised actually, because
Yeah,
if they want a white ethno state, the best thing if they want the black people to leave, right? So that's not a contradictory views in the sense.
Yeah, and Marcus know who Marcus Garvey is. He was a famous black
yeah.
separatist. They
Yeah, he-
he worked with the KKK actually because he liked the blacks. So people like assume that they're totally opposite. They're not really the total opposite. If they, unfortunately, they don't know this, but if they start to come to like each other, they can actually do harm in this world. If black separatists and white nationalists
Yeah.
like Tariq Nasheed or Nick Fuentes got together, and they could start something dangerous in a way. If you want, no, in a way, yeah.
Yeah, like I think like this is like I'm a supporter of multiculturalism, right? I genuinely think that
There is a way there can be cohesion between. I think there should be cohesion between like races, and like the point is when you further dividing people saying like we're not going to get along, they're only going to get along less, right? It seems like they're not trying to get along, and they're spreading this narrative that they will not get along and they aren't get along and they will never get along, right?
Well,
These
I,
different
I
races.
I agree with you on one point. I mean, I still believe in American culture. I still believe that America needs to we don't want America to become Spanish speaking in a way. You have to make sure that the
I mean,
immigrants know English. You know what I'm saying,
yeah,
right?
I mean, that's different. I mean, you don't. They don't. I don't think they have to be forced to learn English, but like, definitely English will definitely help them. Like there are like America's generally like have a lot of like programs and stuff. Like when I moved to America, like I was like 7 or 8, 6 or 7 years old, and I was not very good at English, and so they put me in some program in my school to help me, and like now I'm quite fluent in English. So I mean, like, generally it's not that hard, I'd say, to learn, and like America does a pretty good job at like helping people assimilate. Generally, from at least from my experience, I found like
I mean, I agree with it, but there are some cultures that are not good. Don't get me wrong. Like Sharia law culture, that's not a good culture. You know what I mean?
I
Like
culture.
there's some cultures which are bad, and that's why I think some
Yeah.
multiculturalism, some cultures. I think the West culture is the best. That's why I do agree. And
Yeah.
the West is the best culture ultimately, and it's pretty obvious. You know, and I think but I don't disagree with multiculturalism. If like people want to make like tacos or want to make Indian food or like
Yeah.
have Indian, that's who cares? As long as they follow some Western values, which is funny enough is liberal values in a way. It's the values
Hmm.
that Nick hates. The values that
Yeah.
Nick wants is Middle Eastern values. Being pro-gay is a Western value.
Yeah.
Being pro-women is a Western value. Those all came from the West. That's what. But Nick hates those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like Fuentes might put an idea that he may say that there are ideas like that pre-existed the Enlightenment which helped make the West or like certain Western countries great, which I personally agree with, but I'd argue that the Enlightenment was a consequence of those Western ideas, and a pretty good consequence. And so yeah, and also what else? Oh yeah, another problem I have with Fuentes is like when he was talking about China, he was basically like saying like China is looking out for their self-interest and they should have the right to do that, which I sort of agreed with. And then he basically said that their self-interest is to destroy America. And again, he said, and he doesn't blame them, and that we should also be self-interested in destroying others, which makes no sense when instead
What?
we should be not destroying others, but like doing the same as China. That we should be as evil as China, basically, which is my problem.
Well, one thing about Nick
What do we
Fuentes,
count that
I wouldn't hate Nick Fuentes so much. I mean, I don't hate Nick Fuentes. Don't get me wrong.
Can
I just strong dislike him.
guys,
I wouldn't.
can I throw out an idea here?
Sure,
Sure.
sure.
Just real fast. And like holy crap, the whole China thing, but that's another story. Okay. Just let me say this real fast. When people talk, it doesn't matter who it is, left, right, center, whatever. I don't care. When people talk about this, this apparently ongoing, you know, cl- you know, cataclysmic fight between the races. Well, okay, I've just got one question for these people. What races are you referring to? Because the last time I checked, science proved years and years and years ago that there's only one race when it comes to humans, the human race. So what are you talking about? No, not you guys. I'm saying to these
Yeah.
people that are making everything
Hmm.
about everything is a race issue. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
And,
What race?
and to be honest, you can
We're
make
all
any
human.
you can make anything a race. You can make gingers a race. You can make blonde
Race is
people a race.
completely arbitrary. It's like it's just an arbitrary classification for
Yeah.
things.
I think
For people.
Reed Thomas Sowell's book on this, and he'll explain why certain it's not basically. I think like Hunter Ivan always says is either it's racism or it's that they're dumber. But no, read some Thomas Sowell books. Thomas Sowell is a very good author, happens to be, and he tells and he
Oh, he's a
explains why there's
genius.
different. Yeah, he explains why there is differences, and I expect him to read maybe a Thomas Sowell book. That's a very good book for people that are becoming socialist, is because some of the things like socialism believe, like the very like single payer healthcare, like that's what many socialists believe, that they believe that's the way that we need to go because they pay less for stuff and stuff like that. But the thing is like the drug prices. The reason why they pay less is because America pays more. Is all these drug companies that create new products? They come from America. They don't come from other places. And once America starts to do regulate drug prices, those companies won't exist anymore. Won't be able to exist anymore because they have to pay. You might assume that it's cost a lot of money, the price in America, but because of the ingredients in it. But the answer is it doesn't cost that much as people say because they have to do research, stuff like that. So once you put drug prices, it's going to cause this problem, and I don't think they get it. You know what I'm saying?
And I want to say one thing about the Nick Fuentes thing, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
like Nick Fuentes, you like Nick Fuentes and like many like people on like the religious, like the far extremist religious, right? They criticize Islam, right? They
Yeah.
have absolutely no right to, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
if your argument is that they don't treat women properly, if your argument is that they're not liberal enough, then you must be speaking from a standpoint as like a liberal. Like, okay, I'm a liberal. I respect gay rights and I do not like what Islamists are doing when it comes to this kind of thing. But when you espouse the same kind of shit, you have absolutely no right to say that they are bad, they are like illiberal and stuff. They don't hold like moderate values when you're a fucking extremist.
Oh,
That means you're just
absolutely. It's the epitome of hypocrisy.
yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's why there are a lot of like fundamentalist leaders in India as well, and which I absolutely hate those kind of people when they
Oh,
claim
yeah.
to like the Hindu nationalists. They're all like, oh, Islam has like no place in India and stuff. I mean, dude, India is a secular country in the constitution. You're espousing like anti-secularist views. You're espousing like the nationalist views that many Islamists would also hold. So you have absolutely no right to criticize them for being not liberal enough, not secular enough, when you yourself are not secular.
And the thing is, I wouldn't hate Nick's. I mean, I don't hate him. Don't get me wrong. Don't really hate that much. There's a couple maybe people I hate, but I don't hate Hunter Avalon or Nick Fuentes. I wouldn't dislike Nick Fuentes so much if he wasn't such a condescending jerk. He's so condescending. He feels like he's the next Messiah. Like it's no joke. Hear what he thinks. He thinks he's all so important when he's nothing. He's a loser that lives with his parents right now. He lives with his parents. He lives with his parents and he's
Really?
like 23 years old. Yeah.
Doesn't Vosh also live with his parents?
Yeah, Vash, you expect that. He's Starbucks Jesus. You know what I'm talking about? He's the complete hippie. But Nick Fuentes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, at least
You
in Vosh's defense, you kind of expect that from him.
yeah.
Just knowing who
That's
he
it.
is.
Yeah. I mean, if Vash could be a good story if you think about it, if he wasn't such a complete prick. I mean, he's autistic and yeah, he's able to find a good audience, but he's such a prick. He's such a prick and he's such a yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, but should I go back to the George Floyd autopsy, or do you want to change the subject now?
I mean, we went. I didn't realize there was an autopsy thing here.
Well, I've got a topic on my mind.
Sure, what's up?
And this is kind of America's shtick right now. What is this? Day 5 of the asterisk presidency. But has anyone here looked into House Resolution 1 or HR 1 that has hit the proverbial airwaves here recently?
What is it?
HR 1.
Yeah, HR1. Wait 1 second.
Or the People Act, or
Congress
something else.
Sponsored by Representative Sarbanes and John P. Is that the one?
I don't know the exact sponsors, but I do know what I saw here briefly while I was reviewing The Wide World of Beyond after I got out of work. And this sounds like a total nightmare to me as far as election integrity is concerned. So I was kind of curious if you guys had heard about it.
Voter access, election security, political spending, and ethics for 3 branches of government. I haven't read this. The bill also
Me
sets.
either. I haven't heard about it either.
It was introduced on January 2019, so basically 2 years ago.
I mean, this is basically registering everybody to vote because we're seeing how it's going. The registering everybody to vote has not gone so well.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
Obviously,
there's also a provision in it where quote unquote voters here in America can print out their ballots at home.
Yeah.
And there's a provision for ballot harvesting. There's a provision for basically anything that what could possibly go wrong.
Yeah.
And everything I saw.
What is ballot harvesting? I've never understood what is ballot harvesting.
Basically, where they, I think, copy ballots and they give it out to other people. Is that what it is, McKeel? Or
I'm sorry, say that again.
Is where they copy ballots and they give it to other people? Is that ballot harvesting? What is it?
No. Ballot harvesting is where, basically people who are not election officials, they're not, in any way servants, and I'm just going to say it like it is, they're not beholden to government rules. They can come from wherever, anywhere. And, they just pick up all kinds of ballots that God only knows where they came from or who actually cast them, at all. There's a provision in HR 1 that actually not only allows but encourages this. And they just take them off to a dump box.
Ballot harvesting does seem like it can go it can lead to a lot of fraud. It may not 100% lead to fraud, but if there's no regulation or something in place or any sort of ethics, if it's just a third party going it, then there's definitely chances for there to be some sort of fraud when it comes to it. There's definitely really shady.
Exactly. That's
even if it doesn't win elections, integrity is upon it.
Yeah. And one thing about the whole, the Trump voter fraud thing, I don't know so much about it because I do find the voting thing boring. And you can say what you want. It was a whole big shit show, I'll admit. But one thing, there was some concerns being that some states did not allow signature verification, which is a very, 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 very dangerous thing to do because basically.
Yeah, and that's part of my point because this, if you read into it, it only even further emphasizes and encourages this kind of shit. That's all I'm getting at. Is what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. And one thing about the whole voting thing is I wouldn't be obviously Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell did a horrible job. They could have done a better job here. They could have done a way better job. But one thing that I will say about the whole media covering of it, right away they say no proof to the whole voter fraud thing. Trump is pushing Prush is talking about the voter fraud thing, which is not true. We didn't, every news media spoke about this after, but the thing was the Russian case. Nobody said the Senate will vote on the unproven Russia case. You know what I'm saying? It was only with the what's it called again? With the Trump case. And the thing is, you could say that there was no widespread proof of voter fraud, but some of the stuff it didn't look good. Like in I think it was in Michigan or Georgia, they found 2,000 more votes for Trump, which that's a lot. I think what was it 2,000? Like 2,000.
Yeah, I kind of get what you mean.
Yeah, 2,000 votes for Trump, which didn't really affect the election, but this was the most for recounting to find. The most recounting ever found before this was 500, something like that, 600. This I think was 400. This was 2,000. You see, you might say, you don't look good yourself. You found 5 times the, so you could say, there's no proof, but Trump did have some point to it. Now it was handled horribly, and they could have done a better job, and they didn't really find that much proof.
I agree. They could have done a much better job instead of putting on a circus show for the media. But I'm just saying, HR 1, if you're not familiar with it, you probably should look into this because the quote unquote problems that or irregularities that we saw this time around, they're basically going to be made legal and widespread if this is allowed to pass. So yeah, this is kind of concerning to me. Just saying.
Yeah, and also the entire media even use the terminology like baseless claim, like baseless, like yeah, they kept on using baseless, and they kept on also doing it with like when they describe Trump, they kept on calling it Trump's botched coronavirus response, and like every time they use botched or like baseless, I just want to punch them all. Like, can you at least like use different words from time to time?
Yeah,
Like,
and
I
one
don't
thing,
like Trump, and I have like some people could say I have like Trump derangement syndrome, like at least lately. But like, yeah, I think the media definitely doesn't like it's definitely swings. At least like mains like the cable news and like the articles are generally the famous ones, the most popular one. There are probably some fringe shit, I don't know, but like most of the really popular ones are pretty anti-Trump. Like, and it's kind of I don't like bias usually, right?
and
Any sort of
the thing I hate
like,
about
No
sorry,
offense, Connor, but welcome to the party. Yeah,
I
I've
always
only
knew it
been
was
saying
biased,
this
but like,
for like 5 years because
yeah,
back in 2015, 2016, you know, by and large, you were doing good if you could get even a 50-50 split of favorable to unfavorable coverage of Trump, and that was back when he was running. So
Yeah.
it's like, bias much?
I mean, it was
remember
always
that?
sorry. I mean, media being fake has always been a thing. I think they a long time ago they even found like a video of CNN faking being in an area, faking being in an area. So there has been. I knew the media was biased ever since. Funny enough, the Alex Jones debate, which you can say what you want about Alex Jones. You know, some of this stuff is a wacky thing, but he, you could tell that how biased CNN was during that time, how much biased they were. They've always been a liberal propaganda thing, but Trump, one thing about Trump is and this is a positive and a negative for Trump. He's a very persistent person, and he really pushed how negative they were, how biased they are.
Remember that time where the media claimed that he was mocking a disabled reporter, and that was completely debunked?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
that
he was doing.
was
He just does
bullshit.
that one weird thing to like everyone.
yeah.
Yeah, he did. I think he did that. Like, wait, did he do it to Ted Cruz or
He did it to
no?
Ted Cruz. He did it to Banks. He did it to like several other people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, not nice, but like he definitely
Not
did.
nice, yeah, but it's not. He was
Yeah,
not trying to
yeah,
mock the
maybe not
Yeah,
disability.
nice, but
He was trying to
it's
like
very
do the movement,
consistent if
like
you actually
yeah,
look at how he treated all kinds of other people,
yeah,
throughout like the
yeah,
last 20 years.
yeah.
It's
He's an
very
equal
consistent.
opportunity offender.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what Greg Gutfeld calls him. But yeah,
Yeah. By the way, just a final thing because it's almost the hour. I mean, it's basically we're going to overtime, but this is in my description. So I mean, in my video title. So I guess we have to speak about it. So you guys hear about the Kellyann Conway thing?
yeah,
You're talking about her underage daughter
yeah.
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
leaked
yeah,
nudes.
yeah. So
oh,
basically, Tana Mojo, the very smart Tana Mojo, spoke to Kellyann Conway's daughter because
Claudia.
Claudia. So basically, what happened was on Twitter there was a picture on their surface of Claudia Conway, with topless on Kellyann Conway's Twitter feed. Now, any ounce of brains would tell you this would be the dumbest idea ever. Kellyann Conway has to be super dumb to do such a dumb
Oh,
thing
why
like
do
this.
her own Twitter profile?
She
She's like damn
Either
Yeah,
stupid.
super dumb and or super desperate for attention.
Yeah. Kellyann Conway would go be arrested. Everything would be lost for doing this. It sounds like the more reasonable thing, which is not so hard to do. Many kids have done this, especially teens. Go get the phone, which is not so hard to do, and do that thing. I was actually surprised how her Twitter account. Most people that have Twitter accounts go through an auditor before they tweet their thing. There's somebody, you know what I'm saying. They don't actually tweet it themselves. So I'm actually surprised she tweets her own thing. That's the thing that surprised me the most. But what probably happened is she logged into her mother's Twitter account and she did this, which is, and now she's getting everything she wants right now, like her daughter. Now, like once she what's it called? Once she moves out of her house or like whatever, she could go in with all these leftist celebrities now because now she was FaceTiming with Tana Mojo, going on Instagram Live with Tana Mojo. She could go to the Hollywood and do all these stuff with them right now because I think she even tried to audition for American Idol, but I'm not sure if it worked out. Obviously not since she did this,
I
but
mean,
who knows?
I think it's best to just wait for more information to come out instead of just because I mean, if Kellyann
I
Conway
agree.
did do this, if I don't, I mean, let's be a bit of skepticism. If Kellyann Conway did this, this is like child pornography, right? On that sort of level, it's a really, really big charge, right?
Yeah.
And if it is in fact false, and Claudia is accusing a mom of that, that's also a really, really big thing. So I actually don't know what to say right now.
Yeah.
I
Well,
I just remain skeptical for now because it does seem kind of weird that posted it on her own account. Kellyann Conway leaked new. I don't exactly know what it is. It could have made was apparently I think I read somewhere that it could potentially be an accident as well. I don't know. I want to wait for more information to come out of this.
yeah. Well, but one thing you should
I
know
agree
about
with
teenagers.
Connor here.
Yeah.
I want more information before I try to cast judgment, because there are a number of what ifs about this, so to speak, and yeah, the bare fact is we don't know what actually happened here yet. I'm not saying that it's beyond the realm of possibility that maybe Kellyann Conway
Yeah, for sure.
did
Yeah.
this, but we don't know.
Yeah.
So more data is necessary.
But just one
Either
thing.
way, I will say this unequivocally and unapologetically: kitty porn is utterly disgusting, and
Yes,
it's a
of course.
crime for a fucking reason. I will say that.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone disagrees with you there, Mikhail.
Yeah. Except for Vosh, maybe Vosh.
Bosch's argument is that because, like, for example, if child porn requires like you to be, because children cannot consent to making shirts and sweatshops, so you cannot make you can't make like a moral argument like not wearing shirts. But the thing is,
Yeah.
you can make shirts without child slavery. You cannot make child porn without like exploiting children.
And besides
like-
the point, having a child make a sweatshirt for you isn't, which is minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? It's not the same as having them do a sexual act. That is, that could damage them doing that.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? If you ever meet,
It does damage them, whether they
Yeah,
even realize it at the time.
Yeah, my
exactly.
main problem with like Vosh when he did that is because basically like let me steal man Vosh's argument. When Vosh said that, he basically said, "Here's my hot take. I think child pornography is not wrong." Well, that's what Vosh said. Like,
possessing child pornography is not filming it.
yeah, no, I don't want like anyone like clipping this, but anyway, the thing is like he should have said, like, assuming he was true, but I disagree. But like he should have said that people are wrong to criticize child pornography when people are okay with like child sweatshops or like being like or like profiting of like child sweatshops and stuff. Like, I mean, their society is based on like child sweatshops, which is child, but like.
If you knowingly buy a shirt knowing that they have in fact exploited children, maybe that's another conversation. But you have to also realize that, again, the main argument that I would disagree with Vosh is, and I'll say this again, you cannot make child porn without exploiting children, while you can make sweatshirts and shirts without exploiting with or without exploiting children.
Preach, brother, preach.
And also I guess one more counterpoint against Vosh, basically like these countries like with like child sweatshops, like they kind of need the child labor to actually like get out of poverty, so eventually in the long term they won't have to like go through like child labor again, which is how like America and all the other Western countries manage to like get out of poverty. So
yeah, I mean, I believe like child labor is usually like a consequence of like poverty. So
Yeah.
I think the best thing you can do is either you can make laws against it, or you can either do both. You can either make laws against it, and you can also like try and drive down the poverty rates, and you do that via capitalism.
Yeah, well, I hope you do. I hope you.
Is actually what led to the end of child labor in much of the Western world. Capitalism is what did that, not government. Government just tried to take credit for it after the fact.
Yeah. I hope YouTube doesn't because YouTube's algorithm is a very dumb one. I mean, they took down my video because I made about abortion. They said because of nudity and sex, when I didn't even mention those stuff. So I hope YouTube does. I mean, I guess I could take.
They did the same thing to like Sean a few times as well.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm not good. Yeah. But anyways, just like one thing I will say about teenagers is they're dumb, and they're narcissistic. You know, I'm just trying to put to you. There's a reason why we have college dorms. You know, with old people, we put them in dorms. We're being honest; they're stupid. Same thing with with teenagers. And the thing is, they're dumb, but they think they're smart. They think they know everything. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing we should know about.
As someone who was a teenager a few months back, I agree.
Yeah, I
And
was a
as
teenager.
yeah, and someone
Agreed.
who was basically like a teenager just like a year or two ago, and like associated with teenagers. Like I agree, the teenagers I hanged out with, they're just so dumb. Like I do not want these people ruling my life.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
I get.
sorry.
I get annoyed with.
Or in the voting age, like, good God, 16.
Yeah,
I mean-
you took the words out of my mouth, Connor. You know, they want to raise the minimum age for like anything under the sun other than voting. No, voting, no. Here in America, no. Some people, no, they want to they want to lower it, to 16. Yeah, when I was 16, voting was the last thing in the world on my mind. I'm just saying.
I mean, when I was 16, I believed that we should ban porn. So I mean, I don't think I was the right person for the job at 16. I believe that we
Matt
should ban
Watch still believes in that. Matt
Well-
Watch really believes in that.
porn.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was he said something along the lines of either banning hard porn or I think he just shifted to porn altogether. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, because that's Nick Fuentes' view too. In a way, he believes that we should ban it because
He's probably, dude, I'm telling you, Nick Fuentes is probably a homosexual that watches loads of porn.
he definitely is. There's no doubt about it. He's the only alt-right person that hasn't been caught doing, let's just put it, saucy stuff. You know, many of them have been caught doing, Baked Alaska has been caught doing stuff with e-girls. You know, all of them except for him, and which begs the question: is he just some sort of saint? He's a very religious Christian, or he's just maybe he's a gay. You know.
Hey, like the way he talks about homosexuals, I'm 100% sure he's gay.
I mean, not everybody that hates homosexuals are gay, but yeah, he's definitely, the way he talks, the way he dresses. You know, there's no way there's something about him which.
He's trying to hide his homosexuality.
I mean, the cat video was pretty bad. I mean, he should have.
What was the cat video again? I've heard of it, I think.
Basically, some guy called Catboy like hanged out with Nick Fuentes, and apparently, well, I didn't see the whole video and I couldn't kind of understand it, but apparently there was some flaky stuff, maybe not. Actually, Toasted, you explain it.
It was very, let's just put it this way, it was very sus in a way. It was very, very sus. Just put it that way. Don't want to, I mean, like, and the funny thing about Catboy Cammy is that's when they start to hate each other. But Catboy Cammy is like the more extreme version of Nick. He's actually wants to.
Cammy, what's his name?
Yeah, he's a white nationalist. He actually wants to, and I think that's what could lead to Nick's downward fall, because he has said he's against white nationalism. He doesn't believe in the Omegle streamers, the Nazi Omegle streamers, which could lead to his downfall, because people like Gypsy Crusader and like Catboy Cammy, they could be the end of Nick, just like Nick was the end of,
Charlie Cook.
Yeah, Charlie Cook. Yeah,
Charlie Cook.
Yeah.
I thought it was some sexual component to this video. I was very misled. Because you were talking about homosexuality and you brought up some dude.
Yeah. Okay.
My apologies.
Okay, fine. So I guess we're done for today.
Porn sites
Yeah.
and Fur Affinity and all kinds of other sites exist for. I'm just saying.
I guess we should end this right now. I want to say to everybody in the chat, bye and have a good day.
Bye.
Thanks for